Hello my overkillers, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to be doing part 2 of flying with overkill F-16C Viper. Now today was going to be startup, taxi, and takeoff, and we may do part 3 tonight as well. We'll see how the night goes, as long as I don't wind up tripping over my tongue and sound like a babbling fool like I did the other night. I will keep going this evening. But I thought, one of the most frustrating parts, I think, for pretty much everybody, especially when you don't know an aircraft, is setting up your controls. When you first buy that new plane and you're all excited and you get it downloaded, you get into the cockpit and you go, okay, now what? Okay, so I figured that, I would actually show you guys me mapping my controls out real quick. I completely reset everything, and I haven't flown the Viper in quite a while. I mean, truth be told, it's been a couple of months now. So a lot of this is going to be sort of us going through this together. All right, so let's go ahead and jump after it. So first thing I'm going to do is bring up our controls here. Now I am going to be using RSMapper for my control configuration, so if you guys are interested in that as well, you guys will get to see it from start to finish kind of thing. I am using a little bit of an older version of RSMapper, and mostly just because I was running into a and there it starts, a really weird issue with the latest version. I don't necessarily think it was the version. It might have been something that I had running in my system, but I'm not sure yet. So I went back to an older version to test it out. It seems to be working great. So anyway, off we go. So I'll have that up and ready when it comes time. We're going to start with the joystick, and what you can really do is literally just come down here. Don't try to look at this big field of stuff right off the bat. Find your specifics first, and then what I do is I typically fill in the gaps as I go along. If I notice, oh crap, I don't have this, then yeah, you adjust that then. But let's see here. So a lot of these, the nice thing is for me, in my case, is the fact that I run the Warthog, because it's the exact same stick in the A10 that is in the F-16. So some of this is pretty simple. So it's just a matter of setting the controls up. I don't set up in DCS, guys, and the only reason why is there have been patches in the past that have blown out control configurations and things like that, and then just RSMapper does more than what DCS offers out of the gate. I hope that DCS fixed that. I hope that they enable the ability to do a long press and short press versus short presses and sequences and things like that. Maybe one day they'll integrate something like this into the software, but for right now, that's why I stick with RSMapper, in case you guys are wondering. All right, so let's get after it. So first, we're just going to sort of cycle down my buttons here. Okay, so these are my triggers. So that's stage 1, that's stage 2. And looks like first detent isn't mapped. And if we find a reason where I need the first detent, I will. The reason why the A10 has it, by the way, is because the first stage of the trigger will actually stabilize the aircraft. And then the full depression actually fires the main gun on the A10. But I haven't seen, because I know the Hornet has stage 1 and stage 2. And then the 16 has stage 1 and stage 2, but I haven't ever seen any application of them for stage 1. So we're just going to go straight over here to button 6. And we're going to go, just call it gun trigger, and I just do -2, just let me know it's the second detent. And we're just going to here and find space, and you can quickly find your keys here, by the way, by just typing the first letter of the key that you're looking for. And we want a repeat and continuous because we want the gun to fire for as long as we hold the trigger. All right, done there. Sort of move down, click and control hide stay. Okay, so these ones here, the countermeasure switch, this is going to be where our sensor select switches were on the Hornet. So let's find those right there. So we got that one, that one, that one, that one. All right, so this is going to be left. All right, so where was I? So I'm just going to do CMS, CMS left, if I can type correctly. Gosh, I'm all over the place right now. CMS left, so it's going to be left control, and then these, you'll find these sequences are used quite a bit. So you have your period, semicolon, apostrophe, and slash. So it actually makes it pretty easy once you get it around the corner here. And if you look at it on your keyboard, these follow. So the period is directly behind the semicolon, and then you have left, which is the comma, and right, which is going to be the slash, which matches up as what you would see on the keyboard. So it makes it really easy to map these once you make that association. Same thing right here. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and keep moving here. So we have a left control, and again, these are really easy. So this is going to be left, that's apostrophe. And I'm just double checking myself, yep. Was that really left? No, that was not left. That was forward. Fail. That's all right, we'll just go and change it real quick. And easy, quick swap, boom. I'm not going to bind these as continuous because I don't know if there's any reason why we would ever need to hold them down yet. So, and then it's going to be right. Again, it's going to be left control. And then that's aft. And by the way, so for those of you who don't have the Hornet, what this switch is the little gray hat on the where your thumb would rest on the Thrustmaster Warthog. I think if you go to Chuck's tutorial guide for the F-16, he has the Thrustmaster as well, if memory serves. Now what is this? That's left. Gotcha. And so this is a drag because the latest version of RSMapper, you can actually change the name of the buttons themselves to reflect what they are on the stick, right? So instead of saying button 18, button 16, you could title it something on your, no matter what stick you have, as long as you know it's a button that you're going to recognize, and that makes it a whole lot faster. Button 2, yep, should be our weapons release. And let's just make sure it's right, alt, and space. There it is. Okay. I like to sort of go through the easy ones first. Weapons release. We're doing right, alt, and again space. Now I do a repeat and continuous here just because I want to make sure that when I hit that pickle button, the bomb goes. But you don't have to. All right. So DMS and TMS. Okay. So for those of you who have the Warthog, you should know this. And I don't mean that sound crappy, but if you don't, the DMS or data management switch is the black hat underneath the trim hat, and then this one is the little black hat directly underneath the this would be a castle hat, I think, and this would be the little hat underneath the weapons release button. Okay, so again, we're just going to map these out real quick. So let me find, let's see this, so that should be forward, so 11, and then 12, 13, and 14. Cool. All right, so we're just working a circle here. So this is going to be DMS up. And what are we using here? Right alt. All right, so right alt, semicolon. And you know what? I actually am going to set these to repeat and continuous because I know in the A10 there's a bunch of long press, hold press kind of things, commands for the aircraft. So we are going to make those like that. And this is going to be DMS right. And this will be right alt and /. And again, making them repeat and continuous. This one here will be down. DMS down. Right alt and period. And so the data management switch is primarily going to control your MFDs. It's going to change things that you're reading, data entry, maybe weapon selection. There's all kinds of things that it will do. What am I doing here? DMS left. And we'll get into that much more as we, start going through the controls. But just so you guys understand what the difference is between data management and target management. Target management is exactly what it sounds like: identifying targets, slewing targets, making targets your sensor of interest or points of interest, all kinds of stuff. It goes on and on. All right, so let's find our TMS. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cool. And let's just double check this real quick. So that's forward, right, aft, and left. Yep, we're good. All right, and so now we're starting on 7. It's going to be right control. This is the arrows. Okay. That's weird. I wonder why they did that. 7. So TMS up. And this will be right control and forward. All right, so keep them going here. Now we're going to do TMS right. What are we talking about? Right control and right. Actually, did I catch this one right? No, I didn't. What happened there? That was weird. Oh, we can't hit the... So it doesn't work for the arrow keys, but we can do that. And then this should be down. Yeah, and right control down. There it is. And again, I'm doing the repeat continuous. Some of them have long commands, short commands. Helps if I stay in the right spot. And this will be TMS left. There we go. Alright, let's just make sure that's alright. So, boom, 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 boom. Yep, good. Alright, so now, let's keep going here. So, expand field of view. NWS, that's our nose wheel steering button. Let's get that. Putting that down the pinky here. Not the paddle switch, but the pinky button. NWS. A/R. Disconnect. Missile step. Well, that does a lot. And I'll set it for repeat and continuous. I can't remember. No, I think you just have to tap that one. We'll leave it as just a tap. I think the nose wheel steering the 16 is just on and off. It's not like the... And then the paddle switch, depress, P. So paddle switch, we're just going to type P. There we go. So it's 4. So... paddle switch, we're going to type. Depress. And we're going to do P. Oops. Too many. There we go. And we'll just leave that as a single for now. Alright, so do we have everything? I think the only thing we're missing... Trigger first to tent. Oh, you know what? I think this is the index finger. Expand field of view, depress. Is there anything else on the stick that might take precedence with it? No, I guess not. Alright, well, we'll put this on the index finger. Is where I'm going to put this. And that should be 5. Yep. So, field of view button, and that is what? F, right? Yep. Alright, we'll just set that as that, and we'll do a file save, and that should be good for the stick. Oh no, we need our trim, don't we? So trim, we're going to go to POV hat, this is the trim hat. And these are always the same, that's cool. So we're going to do trim nose down. That's going to be right control, and these we do want continuous. We want to keep trimming for as long as we have the button down. Trim those up. Right control period. And trim left wing down. Right control, comma, and finally trim right wing down. Alright, so that should wrap up the stick there. So now let's move on to the throttle here and see what we want. So let's go over here. We should be able to find the throttle. So we have throttle grip. This is going to be actually where your hand lies. So let's see what we got here. We got our antenna elevation. And by the way, you guys are welcome to mix these around however you choose. To each his own, obviously. Alright, so let's see here. Let's go to our throttle, and we're going to start with the POV. I'm going to use the coolie hat on the Warthog as my antenna elevation. Question is, so clockwise, so we're going to assume clockwise is up. I think that's up. Gosh, it's been so long. So antenna elevation up. And that's going to be the equal sign, and we definitely want the repeat and continuous. And then radar elevation down. I put the last one as antenna, but that's fine. Down is going to be the minus sign, or hyphen actually, if you want to get technical. Alright, let's see what else we got. Let's go over here to the buttons. So the dogfight mode, I think I'm going to use my boat switch for that. So let's see what we got. Center. Yeah, I'm going to use my boat switch. So what's this one? This would be dogfight missile. So I'm going to go forward for dogfight. So button 9. So what I'm going to do here is we want the forward position of the boat switch to be dogfight, and that's going to be 3 on the keyboard. But then when we release it, we want it to go back to the center position, which is, we're just going to table it center, I guess, and make that 0. And no repeats, obviously. And then now going to the aft position, this will be missile override, right? Wow, who learned you how to type? Missile override, and that is 4. Okay, and then again, center as 0. Alright, okay. Now we'll just do a quick file save. I like to save every now and then, just to make sure. Alright, so enable or depress. So the reason why I'm pausing here for a second is I have my Countermeasures depress button. Because I found the pinky button on the Warthog can be sort of a PIA. But I don't know if I want to use the TDC mouse either. We'll try it the way they have it. I think this on the pinky switch is a good place for it for now. So we'll put it here. So enable switch. And you know what though? This actually poses a problem with the version of RSMapper that I'm using, so I'm going to add a key. It doesn't like the enter key for whatever reason, but it doesn't mind the numpad enter. So, and again, I'm going to keep that on enter or continuous just in case. Alright, radar cursor, we're going to be doing this with axis controls, speed brake. Momentary, okay, well, hopefully that works. So the Hornet, I had to make a weird sequence in order to make this work. So we'll see if this works like this in the 16 or if I have to make a sequence later, which I'll address at that time. Speed brake. Momentary. And it is left shift bravo. And we want it to go as long as we hold it, but when we let go of it, we want it to retract. So speed brake retract, and that is left control B. We don't want to repeat. And then in the forward position, we want the speed brakes to extend fully. That's just B, it looks like. Right? No, that's off. You know what? I'll come back and play around with that one. I'm going to have to mess around with that when the aircraft's powered on. Alright, let's see what I guess we got here. Oh, that's it? That really it? Just the cage uncage switch, huh? Wow, that's easy. Felt like there was more of that. Oh, and the flaps are auto, so we don't have to worry about flaps. So we'll make this my cage uncage. I'm just using the China hat. No repeat. Transmit. So we'll use our mic switch. I'm just using the 2 for now that I use primarily like when we're on SRS. If you want to map all the radio buttons, you totally can. I don't necessarily do that. So UHF is right alt and right slash. That right alt in there, and this one will want continuous. And then mic 2. This one's going to be our VHF. Can't remember if I did VHF or UHF first. And that's going to be right control. Right slash. Okay, and for now, I guess that's it for the TDC. Gosh, that seems... Well, okay, no, that's not true. So let's go back to all now. There's still a few more for the throttle I need to map. Nothing crazy. So a lot of the stuff I add as I go. So I'm not going to worry about the alternate flap switch because it's automatic in the 16. Again, if I find a reason to, I will, but the autopilots I'll probably create sequences for. Well, let's see here. Autopilot off. Well, we can do the autopilot switch. There we go. So let's do that. So let's see here. We'll make the first one. Where are you? There you are. Make this one autopilot. Where are you? Attitude hold. So for the first one, so AP attitude, left control A. We'll just leave that as a single, and then trigger on release. We want it to turn off. AP off. That's perfect. Coming back here. Our AP altitude hold, and that one is left shift A, and then release. AP off again, and A is already there. Let's give that a save. Let's scroll down a bit. We already got the gun trigger. Camera I'm not worried about. Canopy will close manually. Cockpit camera views. Again, the stick. Countermeasures we already got. Custom views. I don't use the afterburner detent. Eject. Mission. All the F1 views or the function views. That one sometimes can be kind of handy to map if, you know, it's totally up to you. I don't really typically worry about it, but, you know, if it gets annoying enough, I will. Night vision I'll map on a different box. But again, that's something you want to think about too, is how quickly can you get to your night vision controls. I think the only other one that I want for the moment personally is just the landing gear. Everything else I can do manually. Landing taxi light. Is it under gear? What do they title it as this time? Ah, landing gear handle. There it is. And so that one, I pretty much do it the same on every aircraft. And that's my EAC switch. So let's see here. This will be landing gear up. I think I actually like the way they titled that, so we'll go with that. Left control Golf. Then trigger on release. Oops. Landing gear down. And that's going to be left shift, right? Yep. Okay. So that's really it for me for now. As things progress, you know, I'll certainly be adding to it. And if you guys like, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll let you know as I've added to this. I can't remember if I just saved it or not. But anyway, let me know. And the next one, we'll get into starting the aircraft up and go over a few more things. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.